Hey there, Michael Mann checking in here from Athens, Georgia with Athens Chick-Fil-A. And I'm joined this morning by Chip Chambers.
Like Michael said, I'm Chip. I graduated from the University of Georgia in 2019. Spent about 5 or 6 months working at Athens Chick-Fil-A, working in the front of house. Moved up here to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where I'm at now, and I just finished my first year of medical school at the University of Pennsylvania. For me, the pull to medicine it's a confluence of my interests in both science and working with people. It's an opportunity to serve people at some of their most vulnerable moments while still being a really rigorous and fascinating subject field. And there are some times that I think in healthcare we could learn a lot from organizations like Chick-fil-A, how to provide high quality service at a pace that respects the consumer or the patient's time.
What's something you've been learning recently or something that's going on in your life that's been challenging you or growing you?
If you want to improve the way things are done, you have to look at the process more so than the people. It's really easy anytime something goes wrong to blame the person who made a mistake. I think taking the blame off of people and looking at how we design better systems is something I've been learning from my mentors and from some of the projects that I'm working on now.
If you get the system right, and then you have talented people, the whole thing works, right? Why did you come to give some of your time working at Chick-fil-A?
I knew I had some time off before medical school. I wanted to earn some money, but I also wanted to experience the service industry. I think at some point everyone should work in the service industry. It is both a humbling and a learning experience. And specifically, I wanted to work for Chick-fil-A. I knew Chick-fil-A had a reputation for teaching people how to provide next mile service. I had never worked in an organization where I felt like my management wanted me and trusted me to go make people's day.
You know, oftentimes when you're in management or in business, your first thought can be profits, but the first thought though needs to be the customer. Who are your clients and what sort of service are you providing? Why should they come do business with you? Why should they come back? Along those same lines, what would be anything else, perhaps another thing or two, if you have it, that you remember learning or growing in or experiencing at Chick-fil-A?
One is the way in which the frontline employee was empowered at Chick-fil-A to make decisions, and in which even me as just a front of house hourly worker, I remember management would come to me and ask me what I needed to do my job. The second thing I think I learned is Chick-fil-A, and maybe just the fast food industry in general, there's so much information that gets communicated at such a high rate that communication is so important, specifically closed loop communication. Not just saying, hey, I need an order of extra crispy fries, but I need an order of extra crispy fries, and then the second person responds, heard.
Often, as a leader, you can try and shift the blame onto other people for things like lack of communication, right? I've seen this throughout, my 10 years with Chick-fil-A. And a lot of it gets into taking ownership for your job, for the experience of the customer, for helping out your teammate. If everyone takes full ownership, then it really works. If you were speaking to someone who's maybe in college and they are not sure what they want to do, or someone who says, hey, I have a clear target ahead, but I want to maximize my growth, or I want to make the best use of my time right now, what would be, just from your experience, some recommendations for them?
To people who are maybe around my age, relatively young, try to play the long game with your career development. The next year or so feels really urgent, but I'd say move with purpose and intentionality to pursue learning and growth, even if that's slow. If you think that an experience will shape you, mentor you, grow you, then do that. Try not to get sucked into opportunities that'll look good on your resume or just pay well, but really invest in things, even if they're unconventional.
When you come to a decision and you can choose a better opportunity or a better leader, choose the better leader, right? And because that leader then invests in you and grows you and you learn things that then will well supersede, opportunity A, B, or C. Any other final thoughts or anything else you'd like to share before we move towards wrapping up?
I think the last thing I would just give people advice on is to cultivate a mindset of curiosity. Ask a lot of questions. Why do we do that? How do we do that? So what? How?
Chick-fil-A Athens lingo, we call it continuous improvement, right? And just constantly, okay, now what? Now what? Now what? And celebrate wins, but also say, okay, well, tomorrow we got to start all over again. And so how are we going to do that? How are we going to do that most effectively? So Chip, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks. I appreciate Chick-fil-A investing in me.
Absolutely. It's our pleasure.